James says, "Hey Ed, I'm 16. Welcome, that's awesome. I have long-term plans to build my personal brand and I'll start on that right away. I wish I'd known all this stuff when I was 16. But I need to start making $1,000 a month. Wasn't making $1,000 a month when I was 16. Short term to help me in that long-term endeavor. How can I do that? Thanks." This is a excellent question because a lot of people ask this. Not necessarily making $1,000 a month at 16. Seriously, geez, pocket money's gone up. I hope Hannah's not watching this. But what would I do? Okay, here's the challenge. And unfortunately, some of the things I would suggest, probably out of just age-wise, there's a couple of issues for you. But here, first piece of advice is paid to train. Okay, rather than just going and getting any old job, get a job that is in the area. So maybe you help people with their social media posts. Maybe you create content. Maybe you help optimize their SEO articles. Maybe you help them do social media stuff that you're probably really, really good at naturally right now, and get paid to do that. So yeah, you're working for somebody else, but you're building up your skills and you're seeing how it's working. And that, to me, is a great way. Offer your services on Fiverr. Nobody cares whether you're 16 or 60 or 98 on Fiverr, as long as you get the job done. I'm pretty sure they don't list your age along with, whatever you, at the end of the day, I don't care whether somebody's 12 or, 80 that designs my logo, as long as it's the one I like, great. So, maybe think about what are your skills and use that paid to train mentality. I've got to say, just this morning I used an Uber because we've gotten rid of our second car because fortunately we live relatively central, well, a few kilometres out from Melbourne, the CBD. And so we don't need a second car anymore. We just use FlexiCar, which is sort of like an hourly rental thing, or Uber. And it works out way cheaper than renting a second car. Anyway, point being that I was talking to the Uber driver and, they were driving Uber and they were building up, they were looking around, they were researching markets to decide because they wanted to get into business for themselves. And I thought, what a brilliant idea. Because the great thing about Uber, and it was really interesting because this guy had never heard a podcast before. And I said to him, mate, when you haven't got a passenger, you should be listening to podcasts in the niche that you're going into. Because there's a bunch of podcasts. So I got him to download Pocket Casts and showed him how to use it. And so, Uber and those type of businesses are fantastic because here's the thing, and he said to me, it was like, he could, sure, it's not paid to train, but you are sort of trained because of the flexibility. You can do it at night, you can do it during the day. It's amazing actually how many people who've come to live webinars over the last couple of years who are doing Uber driving or the equivalent, something similar, during the day just to augment income. There's nothing wrong with that because here's the deal, right? Here's the thing that's important. And it's that classic, probably the one bit of psychology we all did at school was talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You remember that, sort of pyramid? And, right at the bottom base of that pyramid is sort of, a roof over your head and food. And all your, the needs for you to sustain life are set. Here's the deal. Any of that stuff that's above that, which includes, by the way, trying to run a business, trying to build a tribe, if you don't have that base level sorted out, you're never going to crack everything that's going above it. And that's why I think, driving an Uber or something like that is a brilliant idea because you can decide when you work and when you don't work. It's sensational. And you can better yourself while you're driving around. You can be listening to podcasts. You can be, bettering yourself as you're going through. For goodness sake, the number of university courses that are now available for you to look at and stuff like what I'm doing here. All of that is an opportunity. So for me, that is a great way to look at that. So hopefully I've given you an idea. Of course, the Uber driving is probably out for you, depending on where you're from, because I don't think 16-year-olds can drive an Uber. But the other paid for train stuff, right up your alley. Become a contractor on Fiverr, on Upwork, on all of those things.